We've been going through this experiment for some time now, this lockdown, because of the virus that we continually hear about. Every day, it's nothing but the virus, wall to wall, the virus, COVID-19, COVID this, COVID that. Are you tired of it? I bet you are. I know I am. Especially from the media. Because of course it's in the media's interest to keep everybody as scared as possible. They don't have to work very hard because it's hilarious to see how terrified some people are as they run about with their silly masks on. As if these masks are going to do anything. I go along with the virologists who tell us that it's all a waste of time. That by the nature of viruses, because of the way they work, there's actually nothing you can do to stop yourself catching a virus. I mean, take the common cold, for instance. If they understood viruses at all, really, wouldn't you think that they'd have some sort of defense against the common cold? But no, they don't, because we just don't understand viruses. I mean, the very word virus itself it just indicates mystery, question mark. But we have this COVID situation, this current virus, and we're forced to endure silly measures because of opinions. It's all based on opinion and nothing else. And isn't that just about the most tiresome thing you can endure? Being forced to, well, let's put it like this: the removal of freedoms, all because of someone's opinion. Someone has an opinion about something, so therefore you'd better follow it. And you know what's really tiresome, really quite irritating? When you hear people going on about how because you disagree with the measures, therefore you don't care about human life. You don't care that people are dying. You're killing people. You know that silly slogan that the government have been using. How does it go? Save lives, stay at home, save lives, help the NHS, or something silly. And don't get me going about this stuff about the NHS. I mean, oh no, you think they weren't getting paid a salary or something? You know, you think they were honestly doing it for purely charitable reasons. Do you know anyone that works for the NHS? Well, ask them why they're doing it. Okay, I'm prepared to accept that there are definitely some people working in the NHS that are doing it for genuinely charitable reasons. They must be in the minority. Knowing what people are like, I assume they must be in the minority. But on the whole, people working for the NHS, they're doing it for a wage. They're doing it because they're being paid to do it. And if they weren't being paid, well, there wouldn't be very many of them doing it. Anyway. I don't want to sound too much like a Philistine. Some people are going to be hard enough on me as it is. But anyway, this nonsense that we have to endure, all because of opinions. You know, you'll be condemned, and heavily condemned, for not following this merry dance by some people, by even many people, I think. Certainly they line up on social media to condemn. But the fear is palpable with these people, honestly. Driven by fear, terrified of death. Well, you know, what's the point in being so terrified? Can't you just try to be a bit more rational and kind of deal with it? Instead of being so terrorized by the prospect of catching a virus and possibly dying from it, that it makes you act irrationally. And I think some people are, I think it makes them feel more secure. You know, there's that old thing, we've got to do something. Well, we've got to do something. Well, hang on a minute. don't do anything until you know what you're going to do is of some value. I mean, okay, something might make you feel better, but that shouldn't be our yardstick. Security should be genuine, not just something cooked up in our own minds, which just to make us feel better. A fake form of security. You know, like for instance, don't pull the trigger of your gun until you know that it's an enemy. You know, I mean, don't make rash decisions, but think about what you're doing and why you're doing it. I mean, can't we just be a bit more level-headed about this? Can't we sit down and be reasonable with each other? Why do we have to be forced from the top? You know, this top-down diktat that we have to endure in Scotland. This latest one, which is due to start tomorrow, I think, whereby we're to be forced to wear silly masks when we go to shops. Now that is ridiculous and unacceptable and surely cannot be legal. My argument is that all of this nonsense that the government is forcing upon us, I believe it has to be illegal. Surely someone, like for instance locally here in Stornoway, a business has just gone bust because of the lockdown. A restaurant called Digby Chick has just gone bust. So I would have thought that they now have a legal case against the government. I wish people would, you know, I bet you, well, you would expect them in America to start pursuing lawsuits. I think that's quite reasonable. I don't think it's reasonable at all for the government to be forcing businesses to go bust and then just shrugging their shoulders. All because of a misguided opinion based on nothing but fear. It's very, very sad. Boris Johnson, I voted for Boris because of Brexit. He was good on Brexit, but he's very poor on this, on the virus. He's been very weak, indecisive. Though of late he has relaxed the rules to some degree, which is a positive move. But then we have Nicola Sturgeon, the glorious leader, Scotland's glorious leader, issuing her latest diktat. All people will wear face coverings, as she put it, to go to shops. So now it's going to be even worse in Tesco. They'll be back to square one with a big stick, issuing orders, marching around the shop, issuing orders to people. I'm not looking forward to it. It'll be coming over the tannoy, I suppose, that everybody must wear masks. It's all quite Orwellian, in fact. But the question is, how will people take it? How will people react? I know that there will be many people that will meekly follow like sheep. They'll just follow it and they'll just obey like sheep. But there are those that won't, like me. I refuse to indulge in this, take part in this public humiliation of silly mask wearing. This mind control device which it's become. No, I would feel ridiculous. It's too ridiculous for me. I can't bring myself to be so ridiculous as to obey such a ridiculous rule. So I've taken steps. And I have this. So the point being, to send the message to anyone prepared to pay attention, to all and sundry, to point out that you disapprove of this ridiculous situation, I'm asking you to do what I intend to do: wear a ridiculous mask. There's this one, for instance, that I have, or this other one. Probably this is the one that I'll choose to wear. But if you go to the shop wearing a mask which is clearly ridiculous, then you're sending the message that you think the whole thing is ridiculous. And it's a form of passive rebellion, making a point. And yes, that's what I intend to do as of tomorrow, which I believe is the day it's all due to start. That'll be the 10th. So if you do likewise, I think that'll be the right thing to do.